Mark, Benny, show us a nice little approach. Okay.
Is it nice?
So, I'm technically here. Bella B.
Bella G.
Chista. You hit a good shot, in my opinion. It is the one that if I could maybe reborn, I would like to be reborn.
This one.
Benny's approach here. Because you have the, what a life. Benny's approach, not life. Don't overdo it. Okay. You can hit this shot that is 6 meters of avant green, maybe green actually. This will be 15 meters more or less.
Maybe a little bit more. Maybe 18.
18 meters. With this club that's always in front of your body, you can keep the pace. With the big parts, so with the body, with hands that work because they are not blocked, just a little bit maybe. Now the worst part comes. So, in the meantime, let's start. It's even more difficult from the avant green.
Yes.
Because from the rough.
If it goes under, it can run.
Okay, but from the avant green, if I try to do your shot okay, maybe the ball could start. Anyway, hands in front of the body, I open and close myself.
Oh, it's already a top.
This is the best. Meanwhile, mine was better. But there is no challenge?
No.
When I hit the good shot, there is never any challenge. How come this? So, despite the fact, I hit a good shot because from time to time I have a good feeling, but it is so difficult. In order not to hit a fat shot, on average, I do a sort of top in this case. And this one was very, very close to a top. Why? Because it is very, very difficult to manage all those movements. There are those who can, and if you can, great, and keep it for yourself.
In fact, if you can, it's good because the club is practically used 100%. The bounce works optimally. There is no weight imbalance. There is no loss of lofts or loft.
You can calculate and know how you get the loft hump. Every time it is the most important thing to have control of the ball's starting velocity, which is what we need on these shots. So, we need to hit the ball, not the ground. Okay, like a fat shot. But we don't have to hit a fat shot. We don't have to top it too much because if we hit it on the equator with this part of the club, it can reach twice the distance. And we have to be able to manage what loft it will come with. The club on the ball to know on average how much spin we will have. And also the starting speed of the ball, that are the two parameters we definitely need. To know how many meters will the ball reach, okay, also the starting angle. And so this, in short, helps us to have a more accurate shot.
And in all of this, as you struggle to find this type of technique here.
At one point, Italian Championship, I remember in his Molassa win that I won't tell you how incredible there was. Look, I was playing with the notorious Patty Cruz, Mamma Mia top player, that from, I swear, from the rough, he was putting. And he had the broomstick, like the long putt. And I was there hitting my fat shots, and I was thinking, but think this, that he's going to fool me with the putt from outside, and that's why immediately I replicated the shot. Oh, but I said to myself, why is he doing this? After all, we were drinking a beer, and he told me, like, I really struggle with my hands to maintain that angle, and so I hit a putt every time I can.
I removed the problem.
The second question was, and when you have to approach, when I have to approach not easy, I put myself around the green hardship up of big, and I started trying to figure out what to do with my swing and my feeling to improve. And there was born.
And there was born at the Scuzzo.
Okay. I call it, we've always called Scuzzo, that I don't know if it exists or if someone has ever coded it before I call it Scuzzo. What do I do? Hands definitely forward. I take a medium open club, so a 52, 54, 56. If you take it too close, there's the risk of
taking off too much loft and the ball no longer starts.
So I'm putting my hands out, ball close to the right foot.
I've seen you play sometimes
almost out, especially if on the rough. After which, at that point, what should I do? I turn as much as I can, the top part, while keeping my hand still, which instead is my problem because I do this. However, at that point, the clubs is closed in our hands. And it would be absurd to try to hit the ball
between the hands and also a little stuck in the middle. I didn't want to say it, however, I did say it.
It almost seems like do a super zoom shot. I try to hit the ball almost with the toe. And you will say to me, but why with the toe? Because it is the part of the club where there is less force restitution, because I want to use more energy,
You miss it on purpose.
I almost miss it on purpose. Another thing about this shot, it makes the starts off with little spins, so it will roll quite a bit. However, jumping just enough. At this point, I'm go down like this. I give it a little tap, and the ball goes, oh, look. Almost. Okay, clearly I have a very important angle of attack, so I make a clump.
An important angle of attack, a bounce that no longer works. The club gets hit. In fact, it's a great shot even when the ball is not placed well.
In fact, now I'll show you the evolution was finding out that this shot, when the ball is placed badly on the rough, okay, I'll put it down a little bit.
Since you were
But
putting
you
it
never
well,
mind your own business. I had crushed it already. Since the stick works so much from above, it is a little more, and I use the tip, okay? It digs more. And you see that the toe goes lower because I keep the shaft a little bit high. The toe is lower, just shy. So it's easier to get a little bit of digging done. Okay, so I can make the stick go under the ball and always let it slip away. And obviously the worse the ball is put, the harder it is though. If you calculate that from that position, probably between a fat shot and a top, it's a disaster. I mean, if a shot gets close to the flag rolling anyway, Tantaroba.
you basically took everything that is a classic chip shot, took it to extremes. It's kind of your chip hut, but in an overly closed version. Marcio presta ai. Excessively angled from top to bottom. The club works decisively from top to bottom. The name Scuzzo probably also comes from the sound.
It's onomatopoeic.
The ball is scuzzata, as we say, by the face of the club.
See, I hit it closer to the toe, so that I more or less hit it here. Because try it, look, it is so much fun. Hold with two fingers. Yeah, but if you tap some this, you can also do it with the putt. It's fun to find the right spot to hit the ball. If you tap it in the center, okay, the club does not twist. So it doesn't turn on itself, but if you hit with the toe, as you can see, it opens okay. That basically, theoretically, turns the club in your hands when you hit it full, but in these shots, you also know where exactly the toe will hit the ball. On the green, when you have a very fast downhill put.
Especially with the old putts, the ones that are poorly balanced, where hitting the ball at the toe can make the club slow down.
Start the ball off a little bit slower with the same swing, so where you have to do really little of it helps you. In this case, I want to do a lot, because as I slow mine down a little bit, my fear is to stumble and use the club like a hoe with my hands. Instead, I want to be able to hit it with all my energy. Hitting it in a place where the club doesn't work very well, I can do it. And so I make a virtue of necessity.
Eventually it's okay. So all the work the gentleman studied, in this case tightness, to optimize the flight, roll, spin of the ball. Losing the ball in the center, you fool them by hitting it in another place. And he is now looking at the video and saying, so I also have to study about hitting the ball elsewhere.
That's right.
I like that.
And at that point, whatever club you have, because maybe you picked it with the right bounce for exiting from the bunker, for the full shot, for the half shot, and whatever else, no problem, because you eliminate it.
You remove it.
Yes, because this thing is very simple. Can we say it? I like it. What happens? The bounce that is this corner here, okay. If the shaft is perfectly straight, for example, this club has a bounce of 10. But if I keep the shaft 15 degrees forward, the bounce is less than 0. It is -5 to be exact. So the bounce is cancelled, even the ones high. We eliminate the ones with a bounce of 14.
So the club will tend to dig much more than slide.
So you put it in the hole with the rough. Look, I'll put it on you with the rough in the back.
We need to make sure we get the ground ball first, which is why we put the ball more to the right. In this position here, the angle of attack is very vertical, so the blade of grass we have in front of the ball is not a problem.
I hit it well, it was going very close.
We lose some spin, obviously, because the iron clearly is spiked in front.
And then because we hit it with the toe, that takes away some spin.
However, in the end, the ball that comes up, it tumbles a bit, which is why you have to play with clubs that are inclined enough. Otherwise,
yes,
doing so, it does not.
Now,
It doesn't
It
even
goes under the
start.
ground.
However, a good wedge. We hit a Scuzzo! If we pulled away from the problems, it's a type of shot that I recommend trying to get into your arsenal. Then it may work, it may not work. If it works, when you are in a hole, you have an extra weapon.
Tanta roba.
If it doesn't work, when you are in a hole, Gigi owes you a flapper. This is not a problem. Gigi pays for each flapper with a beer.
This was just a way to add a little something. Let us know below in the comments if you are going to try it, and
if maybe that would work for you. If you were already doing it, maybe calling in a different
or maybe
way.
find a book where it says this technique and they don't call it Scuzzo like we called it since we were tall like this. Then I stayed tall like this. You grew up and I didn't. I do not
Yesterday
understand
you were
this
calling
thing.
it that.
Let's go for a challenge. I feel hot and I have a hot fingertip. Let's go.
No, I'm not coming.
It spins. Look how much spin. Okay, but see, stop. So get ready, get ready. Now you do it and then I'll do it. And you start to hit two approaches, hit a good approach. Okay, ready. Here we are. Are we rolling?
I hit a beautiful approach.
All right.